A Georgia husband is shot inside his own home. His wife first tells police she thought he was an intruder. Investigators say the evidence shows something else. A domestic argument about their open relationship that ended in a fatal gunshot. This isn't clickbait about swingers. It's a domestic homicide with a clear legal outcome. Guilty on malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault. Sentence: life in prison without parole. The question is how the case got there. Twisted Case, documentary true crime with timelines, sources, and empathy. If you want careful reporting with plain English and receipts, subscribe now and ring the bell. Let's break the case down step by step. We're in Newnan, Georgia, Coweta County, about 40 minutes south of Atlanta. The couple, Luke Coe III and Cheryl Coe. Friends and local reporting describe a long-term marriage that, like many, had stress and negotiation. In 2020, they adopted an open marriage with rules and boundaries. Prosecutors later said that arrangement and disputes about its limits formed the motive space for the shooting. Note this up front: consensual non-monogamy is not illegal. Courts don't punish openness by itself. What matters legally is intent and what happened with the gun on the night of the shooting. That's where this case turned. June 23, 2021. Dispatchers receive a 911 call from Cheryl at around 7:26 p.m. Deputies arrive at the Coe home on Tommy Cook Road. Luke Coe is found gravely wounded in an upstairs bedroom and later pronounced dead at the scene. In early statements, Cheryl says it was an accident or that she thought there was an intruder. Investigators quickly doubt the intruder claim. Physical findings matter. According to the Coweta Judicial Circuit District Attorney's Office, 2 shots were fired from a 9mm Cheryl kept by the bed. The fatal wound struck Luke in the left armpit at a slightly downward angle, with the muzzle pressed against the skin, a contact shot. That detail undercuts any idea of firing blindly at a distant shadow. That same night, and in follow-ups, investigators record multiple versions of events from Cheryl, some mentioning intoxication and sleeping pills, others mentioning an intruder. Later, an admission that she knew it was Luke and fired warning shots because she said she was scared. The shifting story becomes central at trial. Detectives do what they always do: compare statements to the scene. 1. Scene analysis. No evidence consistent with a break-in. The trajectory and contact wound suggest close proximity. The interior layout, where casings and blood are, has to match the version told. As the AJC reported on June 24, 2021, deputies did not accept accidental as consistent with their early findings. 2. Statements and interviews. According to the DA's press release, Cheryl gives 3 inconsistent statements at the scene, then another at the sheriff's office. Later testimony highlights changes between the first trial and the retrial, with the DA noting she admitted under cross to lying to police, to a jury, and under oath previously. That's powerful impeachment before a jury. 3. Digital/context evidence. Text messages introduced at trial show days of arguing about their open marriage. The prosecution frames it as escalating conflict, rules, frequency, and Cheryl's plans to see other men that week. This dispute, they argue, is the motive backdrop immediately before the gun is used. June 24, 2021, Cheryl is arrested and charged. February 22, 2022, she's indicted. February 24, 2025, the first trial begins, but ends in a mistrial after jurors can't reach a unanimous verdict. A mistrial isn't an acquittal. It means the state can retry the case. Between the first and second trials, the legal strategies sharpen. The state focuses the jury on contact wound evidence, on changing stories, and on the argument about openness as motive. The defense, in general, needs jurors to see fear, intoxication, and confusion, not malice. The second panel will decide which frame matches the facts. August 11th, 2025. The retrial starts in Coweta County. Within roughly 2 weeks, the jury returns a verdict: guilty on malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault. Sentencing follows. life in prison without the possibility of parole. Local outlets and Fox 5 Atlanta highlight prosecutors' explanation to the public. The couple have been arguing over their open marriage, specifically about Cheryl's plans to see multiple men that week, and Cheryl changed her story multiple times. People magazine's write-up, published the same week, tracks the core elements: the 2020 open marriage context, the June 23, 2021 shooting, the intruder claim, later acknowledgement of an argument, and the LWOP sentence after retrial. It also references testimony about alcohol and a sedative. Those details matter for context, but in Georgia, malice murder doesn't require a long, plotted plan. It could be express malice, an intent to kill, or implied malice, an act showing an abandoned and malignant heart, meaning such reckless disregard for life that the law treats it like intent. Pointing and firing a gun at close range during a domestic argument fits that standard in many jurors' eyes. The contact wound and the argument context were the anchors here. Misconception 1. Open marriages cause violence. No, millions practice non-monogamy without violence. The variable jurors respond to is how conflict is handled, especially when a firearm is present. In this case, prosecutors said a relationship dispute turned into a fatal, close-range gunshot. That's about a weapon in a heated argument, not a lifestyle on its own. Misconception 2. If she was scared or intoxicated, it can't be murder. Fear and alcohol can be real and still not meet self-defense standards or defeat malice. Jurors consider the totality: wound evidence, proximity, and credibility. Here, shifting explanations and the contact shot overshadowed claims of fear. Misconception 3. One shot means it was a mistake. A single shot can still equal malice if other facts indicate intent or extreme disregard. The medical finding that the firearm was pressed to the body was significant. The victim, Cheryl Coe, doesn't get to explain the argument or reconcile anything. His family now measures birthdays and holidays with an empty chair. The defendant, Cheryl Coe, will likely spend the rest of her life in prison. The first trial's hung jury shows how hard close relationship homicides can be to parse. The second jury saw the contact wound and changing statements as decisive. Don't argue with a gun in the room. The presence of a firearm radically increases lethality in domestic conflicts. Lock it up or leave the space. Pause heavy talks. If emotions are high, or anyone's been drinking or medicated, table the conversation. Write the rules. For any relationship model, document the boundaries together and revisit them often. Clear agreements reduce he said, she said. No self-defense basics. Understand your state's standards before conflict, not during it. Call early. If you feel threatened or cornered, step out and call someone. De-escalation is strategy, not weakness. In court, the clerk reads each count. The judge sentences life without the possibility of parole. The legal system's message is firm. Bringing a gun into a domestic argument, especially one rooted in control, jealousy, or power, crosses a line that a jury can call malice. Two strong views, and we want your reasoning. View A. Accountability as protection. When a gun is used in a domestic argument and the story changes, LWOP is the right message for safety and justice. View B. Accountability with review. Decades-long sentences with the possibility of parole reflect that fear and intoxication complicate intent, and that people can change. Where do you land and why? Keep it respectful. If this breakdown helped you understand the case without hype, subscribe and share. Your support lets us keep reporting with clarity and care.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more gripping true crime breakdowns, mysteries, and criminal psychology stories, only on Twisted Case.